What time is it? Does anyone really truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all of the game's settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. And now, the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. And I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There is still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Talk soon. Hello, welcome back to the Stanley Parable 2, the sequel. Right, so you should always grab people at the start of a video straight away to, you know, hook them in, make them carry on watching the rest of it. So I'll start off with just reading some words off the screen, and then I'll just adjust a load of sliders for about 10 minutes. So the website I looked at before was just a load of shit, clearly. They didn't know what they were talking about. You've got to do it like, you've got to go through everything. So let's go through everything. And you don't have to do it that slowly either. I watched someone do it on YouTube. So I wish I could remember what site I went on that told me the other thing that was wrong, because I'd love to give them a shout down, like a slag off. It's like when Ozzy was getting getting Doctor Who spoilers from YouTube thumbnails. And he was like, no, I'm not going to name it. I'm like, fucking name and shame them, mate. I would. They've been pricks. Name and shame. Name and shame. Name and shame. Name and shame. Throw them in the river. I love that when they after they threw the Colston statue into the river. Priti Patel, or you know, the real world's answer to Dolores Umbridge, was on about how disgraceful it was and all that bollocks. And I was like, I vote if she ever comes to Bristol, I vote we throw her in the river. And I was thinking, and I mean that, not because I want any harm to come to her, but just because it would be quite funny. You could see her, like, you know, just imagine her sort of like just keeping her head above the water, like all dripping wet, humiliated, not in a good way. But yeah, similar to how you have the defenestrations of Prague. On several occasions they saw it fit to throw officials out of the window. We should have the Influminations of Bristol. That's the name I've come up with for it. Right, I can't get to the next one with the keyboard. I bet this don't fucking work either. I bet you £1 million. I wonder if you, like, if you put like £1 away each year, each month, how much you'd save. Divided by 12. 83,000 months. You'd never do that in a lifetime. Anyway.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Maybe you're enjoying this ambient background. Let's just remember to move it back afterwards. Fuck me. Tumty tumty tum. I can't remember what it started at. What janky resolutions were these? I think it was back here, wasn't it, where we started? Fuck, what was it on? Remember. Yay! Oh, thank fuck for that.
This
Fuck me. That's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it.
This is the story.
I love it. It's took up the fucking balloons.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, Figurine Finders Committee meeting today. Yeah, don't forget about that, guys.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms and away.
Excuse me, I need to get up the figurine guide. In the basement, we've got the one in the bathroom. We got the secret entrance one. There's one in the warehouse. Warehouse, red and blue door. Okay.
A wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure.
Ooh.
Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
Glorious. Right, let's get on with it.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Actually, I will go to the meeting room because I think there's something.
And so the two of
we can
them
look at here.
detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Here you are, that. There will be a reward for finding them all. What? Trust the completionist instinct. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, TBH. I bet nothing happens still after all this. Weird spinning figurines. Ideas. What do they want? Our data, stock options, money? Why should we make them employees? Interns? Maybe yes. Whatever. That's another one. Why do they kind of look like 427? Why floating? Magic, dreams, our quarterly success, magnets, trading exercise. By management. How many are there? 151? 7? 5? No, 6. Can we sell them? Obviously. More dollars if sold together. Do we need contacts for them? Potential liability, NDA. Employee 41 building a bridge, saw one in cargo room. Oh, saw one in cargo room, employee 41 building a bridge. Yeah. What we know, what we don't know yet, what we forgot, bonus stuff. Or stiff as it looks like there. Difficult findings. Source of levitation. Maybe we are the collectibles. Shut the frick up. To whom it may concern, I managed to pick up sounds unusual to our regular offices on bills or local audio sources using an array of cardboard microphones, also known as directional microphone, which picks up sound from a particular area. Analysis of the recordings allowed me to triangulate the source of the strange noise. Data shows that no likelihood it's coming from a dark area behind a very warm place. Always it picked up what looks to be a reverberance of a porcelain service. Anyone have any leads on this? Wouldn't you like to know? Warehouse access plan. Produce one plank to allow ease of access past fence. Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny float. Retrieve Chris's remains from warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. We need more planks. There we are. Large room, lots of boxes. Some are both red and blue. Sequel exhibit. Stairs, rooms with stairs, nearby fireplace. A private but smelly place for an important person. Yeah, we got them already. Looks like 427. Ha ha ha. 5 there be. Just take it from me. Gotta collect them all. Is this some kind of game? There must be a point to this. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lies! Stop kidding yourselves. Who are you? 666 lol. There will be cleaning of this wall required. I want them so much. I want to go home. Exactly the kind of shit office banter you normally have. 10 steps to a successful workplace investigation. 1. Decide whether to investigate. 2. If necessary, take immediate action. 3. Choose an investigator. 4. Plan the investigation. 5. Conduct interviews. 6. Gather document stroke clue stroke evidence. 7. Evaluate document stroke clue stroke evidence. 8. Take action. 9. Document. 10. Print list. This is exactly the kind of shit you're asked to do in an office, by the way. Figure Finders Committee. Where are they? Please do not leave the office before reporting back on any new findings. Teamwork and communication are part of great importance during this unprecedented time of investigation. Pretty unprecedented. F-files confidential. Beware the false. Beware the false prophet. Clue.jpg. c/clues/myclue.jpg. Meeting notes. Employees are present. The meeting is starting. Presentation on figurines and how to find them. The meeting is starting over. Typewriter font text. The meeting is concluded. Oh dear, minus evidence. That's not good. Meeting now in the meeting room. Oh. Possible clue? Approximately here? Fig leaves are hard to find. Fig leaves. Good luck. Alright, let's start at the top. Out of the way, bucket. How can we find them? Bottom text. What we know, small floating objects have appeared across the office. We have to synergize our resources to ensure their retrieval. There are many questions. There was no memo from management. Also, we still got the stickers on the bucket, I just realised. How can you tell you've spotted one? What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? That's a good question. Alright. Let's find us some figlies. Except we can't now because we've come through here. Artist rendering. Profits, business, money, statistics. Got it. Help, I'm a post-it. That's the same as before.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers.
Oh, shit.
If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Alright.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Oh, we can have
Was the
smooth
bucket
jazz.
guiding him?
New age music, sorry.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Smooth jazz is Portal 2. I didn't even know there was a place over here. Also, when I went to the escape pod... Oh, look at this! Yeah, when I went to the escape pod before, because I was looking backwards, I never actually saw the escape pod. But luckily I can do it again with the bucket now, so at least we'll see that.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
By the way, I looked it up, and this is new to the Ultra Deluxe. This button used to be deactivated when you got to the bottom.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing. Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him?
Okay, how
Once
could you?
Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
We're not going to be in downstairs for long, I'll tell you that right
Perhaps
now.
the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
I'm so pleased I found an ending by myself. A new one, I mean. Obviously I knew
No,
most of the original
said
ones.
Stanley to the bucket. You
You have your
can't
initial
go on
period of
yet,
exploration.
not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Oh. Can't even see the bottom of the bucket. It goes down with you. Perspective. Very small, strange bucket. It's very strange if it doesn't like the number 3.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears. And the whole time, he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Damn you, bucket.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole
I do
way
like a
down
rumination.
the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Really, there mustn't be a solution, must be there, not there, mustn't there be?
Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work. For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
World peace, baby. I fit the Stanley Parable Stanley. Three.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
3. 3, that's the magic number. Yes, it is. Popular song. A shockingly three-dimensional character. Thurston Tribert III. 3 stars from 3 Star magazine. Oh god, what's the rest of it say? Stanley really is 3 times the charm. In his memoir 3 Again, The Stanley Story, he offers a rare glimpse into a man's unquestioning loyalty to the number 3, his faith in the trifecta, and 3 good reasons why this number is a top 3 contender. Sorry, just got that bit wrong. Stanley's other work includes walking around and pushing buttons. Here he is. 3 Again, The Stanley Story. And the kids are stampeding again upstairs, if you can hear that. Up again, down. Oh, they didn't change that texture. Guys!
There was no one here.
Oh, shit.
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a
old
keypad
conference
over
here.
and over. He was unloved.
3?
Uninteresting.
That's the script.
He was a failure. And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding.
Damn.
The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began slowly over many years.
Oh.
The two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
Oh, shit. Well, rip.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
Let's
could
see
it
what else I
mean?
can do with
Stanley decided to go to the meeting.
Go through my endings
Perhaps
first.
he had simply missed a memo.
Because I don't think I can go...
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
No, my door's closed.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
I'm gonna have to do that one again, aren't I? Oh shit. Okay. I haven't been able to climb out the window.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
The fucking music. Oh dear.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Stoneknickers. Yeah.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized,
no room for loading.
This isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket.
What?
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd.
That's the actual time.
And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious.
What if that's always going to be the right time?
Without my bucket, I've gone truly
it's a total
mad.
Coincidence.
Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
It changes to 24 at the same time as my clock.
It's me, the bucket.
Oh my god, it's gone, I didn't notice.
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come
yeah,
to
here's
me,
the return.
Stanley.
Cool.
Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from.
Yeah, you're not meant to stop looking at the
bucket
clock.
Was inside of him all along.
Oh, damn, how'd you get it up there?
Incredibly painful.
Yeah.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blinked. This is the story
They did
of a
my
woman
stupid
named
fucking joke, I
Mariella.
love it.
Mariella woke up on a
Jesus.
day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
Jesus. It was
But on this
incredibly
particular
painful.
day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through
Jesus.
town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Big
Right away,
bucket-shaped
she knew what the
lump in his
problem was.
bum.
This man had no bucket. Of
He hasn't got a
course
demon.
He'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion.
I'm
and it's
gonna
all
have to
just
get a bucket,
video game.
put it in
It
the
could all
background
have
from
been
a video,
prevented
that's amazing.
If only he'd taken his bucket.
If only.
Perhaps he didn't even realise he'd forgotten his bucket at home. in
Left
the
his
first
bucket at
place.
home, forgotten his
How
bucket, or
cruel
left his
the
bucket at
world
home.
can be,
Fucking
Mariella
Americans,
thought.
man, ruining
And she
everything.
hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself. My life kicks ass.
Wow.
And she backflipped all the way to work.
That was way funnier than I thought it was going to be, if I'm honest. No offense, Davey.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Can't get out of that
Stanley
one.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
I've got to do the inputs. There's the next one. And then the next time it'll be in the boss's office, I think. But I go up there now anyway.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Get ready for the musical sting. It's my favourite bit. Oh dear.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet.
Gotta check.
Simply because I have no
Sure to
remaining
get.
stickers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
The fucking addition of a bucket is so stupid. Oh, I can get in here now. I don't know what the rules are for this, but... Bing bong. Did we ever arrive? I can't remember. He's having a great time, so am I. Did you say shit or something? I wonder if this is a reference to the game Elevator Source. Lift source, as I call it. Anyway. If we do arrive, I can't be bothered. Thank you.
Stepping in.
Let's do this one again. We left that open. Oh dear. There we go. You are now leaving. We'll go to floor 760. I love the way it just constantly gives you this false hope of you're always getting out. You jump out the window, it says you're now leaving. Whatever you do, it's never enough. Just reminds me of Red Dwarf, this bit, especially with the lighting. Wait a minute, are you trying to tell me everyone's dead? And 5/8. Seven, 5, 9, and 7, 6, 0. 7, 6, 0. Sees them in. There we go. That's what I missed because I was facing the other direction. Oh! Of course, there's no narrator for this. Because the narrator is trapped in the room. Oh my god, are we going to send the bucket away? Fuck me, that's really weird. Jesus Christ. Couldn't you both go? There's plenty of room in there. There's room for me in there, what are you doing? Oh wow, that was a fucking plot twist. Amazing.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I think the next one's in the boss's office. I think. Certainly not here. Certainly none of them were
When
down
Stanley
the right door.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The fucking lighting changes and everything. Brilliant. Changes back.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Office. Oh my god, I forgot the bucket! Ah, shit. Well, I'll do this now anyway. Well, actually, that works well because...
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to
What's wrong with
discover
me?
not an indication of any human life. Shocked, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even
No,
have
it
a
still makes
single
you wait.
minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
There is one other thing you can do that I didn't do without the bucket. That I'm going to try.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Da, 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 da. Da 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 da.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Like a lady.
The lights rose on an enormous
you can get
room
out this
packed
way.
with television
Oh, you can.
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
That's how
Did
you
he
do a
have the
speed run.
strength to
Jump
find
along
out?
Oh, hello.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we
Was it
had
the
to do
bottom ending?
something about this little goof
I should have
of
put more
ours.
lights
So
on.
here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending.
Oh,
if that
brilliant.
enhances your perception of the value of these updates.
Absolutely
Isn't
does.
that what you crave? New content?
You know it,
Always
brother.
more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game with secrets and Easter eggs.
Oh.
How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just
Amazing.
for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Okay.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier. Chase your dreams.
Typo.
But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Did it.
Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Awesome. Wow. Bottom of the mind control facility ending. Love it. Good God.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley.
I think I
thought.
fucked it up.
How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had...
No, well, I may have just fucked it up totally, but let's see.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I didn't
Stanley
fuck it up.
decided to
Brilliant.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Don't forget next time. Yeah, I'll be looking at the computer at least, so that's different.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled.
Schmieled.
He'd never be alone again, not truly alone. Not with the bucket around.
Precisely. Hello, I'm Precisely. I can't go out the window with the bucket, it seems, because the door will close behind me. Unless
Stanley
I back
clutched
out,
the bucket
and then all the
tightly
doors
to
will
his
open again.
chest and entered the door on his left.
I don't know now. I don't know how it works. I'll try it next time I notice the window's open. Right, so now I need to go into the mind control facility and activate it.
Coming to a staircase,
Don't think I've done that
Stanley
one.
and
Did I
the
do that one
bucket
last time? I can't
walked
remember.
upstairs to the boss's office.
I don't think I did. I actually can't remember for the life of me.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
Sure
Was
can.
it the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Absolutely. It's back. Let's mod the game so it makes a choo-choo noise.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
The bucket, the building didn't let me out when I had the bucket. So now we'll try the, yeah, I don't think I did the other
The
one.
lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears.
I need to watch a video of
as
someone doing the
Stanley
speed runs. I
cradled
can't remember
gently,
which desk you can
reassuring
go on,
it
which ones
that
you can.
everything would be fine.
Look, I can definitely do the first one. I'm sure I did the second
Was
one
the
before.
bucket under the mind control facility's
have to do both
influence
of
as
them, or
well?
not?
Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do?
Ah, look.
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do?
There's no
or
lights
not
down
want
there
to
anyway,
do in the
obviously.
first place?
Anything to see.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Feeble mind.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself?
God damn it, bucket.
How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Silly birds.
Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Bird range. Fucking what?
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Obviously.
The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
Oh, that's a silly bird.
Of all the possible paths his life could have taken,
that was funny.
This one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
That was superb. Alright. I can't take the bucket here though. Unless I can back out. Let's try it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had the good old bucket.
Still
Just
open.
Stanley and the bucket. Off
Now that one's
on
closed.
another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
I've got to go up to the boss's office again and then try and like sneak out again. Then
Stanley
maybe.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door.
I don't know if the awaiting input will stay there though or not. Or if that's kind of locked in. Once you leave the room, it's gone. Sort of thing. Still makes me chuckle that.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping in.
Gotcha. Right, let's see if it's still there or not. I have a feeling it'll probably go because it's like you've moved on then. It'll reload it and all that jazz, reset it. You can actually go downstairs then. I don't know if anything happens then. Perhaps give that a go at some point. Maybe it's just like a dead end or something. Don't know if you can. I just thought this door might be closed. Yes, closed, isn't it? I don't know if you can. Nah. Fucked. Oh well. That's not open. So let's go downstairs, see what that does for us. If it's just the same ending again. The lighting changes again. Oh, that's closed too. Oh shit. Alright, let's just restart. But we can't do that ending with the bucket then. Oh, it's the blue office! We did it! Hell yeah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meet. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Takes us straight there. Interesting. Don't know which door it is.
Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the
Press it.
office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket.
Good old bucket. Yay! Dog mode! Can we not do anything about it? Oh shit, we can't do anything. We're just staying here for a bit, see if anything happens. Yes! Dog mode! Good God. It doesn't look like it does anything. It's just an Easter egg. Which is a damn shame, because I was looking forward to the whiteboard ending. Oh dear. It's on the Googles. Stanley Parable. Whiteboard ending. Jesus, no. Save and close. Fucking cookies. The narrator stays silent no matter how long you stay for. Rubbish. The blue office usually appears after you jump off the cargo lift or if you perform the ending. Well, I didn't do that. This is the only ending that disables other endings from the start. Oh. When you exit the room, the office returns to normal. No, it doesn't.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
It said something about the boss's office when I was quickly skimming the wiki. I'm not sure if that is true. If
Coming
it
to a
is, I'll just
staircase,
restart.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
The Oss's Boffice.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was
Yeah,
once
right, that's just... Oh no, we need to go and do the other one,
stunned
don't we?
to discover
We need
not
to
an
go do the
indication
escape.
of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours,
And then we've
did the
done
bucket's
everything
warmth
down the
and
left
guiding
door.
light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes.
Yes.
This is certainly the most logical explanation.
Absolutely. I almost restarted the game. Good job I didn't, because we still need to do something down here. Then we've done everything on the left door. I've literally just said this, sorry. And then we'll try the other ones. But I might leave it because it's almost 1 o'clock and I want to watch the snooker.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
And here it is. What if it's any different if it's just the same but with and the bucket? Why do we have this in our office?
As the machine whirred into motion,
Like in Galaxy
Stanley and the
Quest.
bucket inched
Why do we
closer
even
to
have
their
this?
demise. Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell,
Well.
Stanley.
Sorry, bucket.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral
She
instant,
sounds ever so
the
slightly
bucket's
different.
life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
Poor bucket. Better be the Stanley Parable 2. What?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket.
Is it going to be all about
It's
the bucket?
true that all
Yes.
buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Phrasing, got it a bit wrong. Will you accept with an open mind distracted myself now with my weird inflections. Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as the result of this exhibition? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? Question mark. I don't have a bucket.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own?
Oh,
can you
hello.
see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Farewell, sweet bucket. 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets. The greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. Let's get in the thumbnail image. Perfect. A bucket with two handles. This bucket is depicted as having two handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. Put to death. Jesus. Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains, no one can control a bucket. The stress bucket, an analogy. Presented without commentary. Worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance. Stress equals the level of water in the bucket. Vulnerability equals size and strength of the bucket. Coping strategies equals holes. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy, rest and relaxation. Good lord. Ooh, dog mode! I'm still in dog mode. Cave drawing. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, Obviously, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as
I'm glad this one's a bit more
one.
linear.
It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. This piece symbolises the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. This distance, inevitably, is for our own good. Oh, it's glass. Ooh. I thought it was like a suicide one again. That was
But
fucking
there
horrible.
is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Kill
Let
Stanley.
die.
Yeah.
Let him be crushed by
Drop the
machine.
bucket.
Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the
That's a very satisfying thunk.
world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements. If only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Dog mode. Reading up about the whiteboard ending, it looks like before there was just like a console command that you could use for dog mode. Ooh, paper everywhere. No dog mode anymore. Yeah, it looks like this is the changing
All of his co-workers
makers to
were
put.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley
just a
decided to
toggle
go
for
to
it.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Itchy head.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
This paper thing is just a random chance in the office, I believe. In fact, I'm going to double check. It just happens. What do they all say? Can't read it. Certificate of live birth. 1961 it looks like. Oh no, 2011. I wonder whose birth certificate that is. Nothing. Do you even have a company? It's just 000. The consolidated reports. The committee hereby proposes the following. 1. That all internal revenues be reviewed exclusively by internal members of royally appointed subcommittees. 2. That human beings accepting the members of the 5th Annual Subcommittee Meeting of Internal Revenue Analysis for Committees of the Royal Revenue Discussions Club, SMEL. 3. Dude, I'm so weighted right now. It's the 5th Annual Subcommittee Meeting of Internal Revenue Analysis for Committees of the Royal Revenue Discussions Club. Very odd. Right.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I was going to stop, wasn't I? Let's do one more. Let's just do the confusion ending.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew
Oh
you'd
my
find
God.
this place eventually.
It's everything we love.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
Broom closet.
It's this
How to shut
bucket
the
you're
computer.
carrying around everywhere.
Your wife,
The
the baby.
bucket isn't even
and the
from
line.
the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the
Classic
Adventure Line
characters.
and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes,
Holy
yes,
shit.
that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Oh wow, straight to the Adventure Line. I love it. Or I could just go in the broom closet. I love how it's not just the door as well. That's not like we're... Alright, let's go. Holy shit.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played
Awesome.
some silly music as well.
Engine. Yeah! Oh, I see, it's the same jokes just again. Exactly what we want. Refactor base 6, small asset. I know it's all parts of the game being imported.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
No, 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 no. I love this. Let's just do the same jokes again. It reminds me of 22 Jump Street.
Don't you get it, Stan? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Jesus Christ.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
I think
Surely
I
you
can.
don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Another immersive engineering
Now
machine.
listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket.
get in it
Destroying
myself.
buckets is all it knows. That
Insert
is
bucket
its
to
singular
destroy.
personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this
These are gonna
game
blow up.
can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly
dear.
now. The fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
I'll do it again and then I'll crush it. Ooh.
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend.
New friendly.
For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Magnificent. Slow fade to black. End. Now let's destroy that fucking bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I'm gonna
Perhaps he
get
had
out there
simply
with the
missed a
bucket at some
memo.
point.
Ah, the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was
Good time in
wrong.
there.
Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
I love it. It's such a good twist. You only ever take this because you want to do the adventure line,
Good,
and then
Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here.
I know that they
knew
literally just
you'd
straight
find
away.
this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
it was your
The
idea,
bucket
narrator.
isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving
fur,
the
not gonna miss
Adventure
that.
Line? We could make the Adventure Line go
Sound
somewhere
fucking
new.
simple.
Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's... Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next?
Look at that wacky
And
line.
it played some silly music as well.
Dun, 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 dun. What is newsletter writing? I'd agree with that. They're very good newsletters. The map that sees all things that ever have been or will be, but in map form. The map was legendary. The old tales spoke about it. Yeah, you know the old tales? Yeah! Anyway, so the frog knew it proper wanted the map to tell it the secrets of the universe. If it brought the map back to civilization, it would truly achieve greatness. I knew it in its cold-blooded slime. It knew it in its slimy cold-blooded slimy frog heart. The temple that held the map was close. Is that Dr Langeskov, the Cursed Emerald, and that other game we did? Okay, looking out for not being able to play games. There's all the other shit. Ever dream this, man? That's a real thing. And it's fucking stupid because no one can remember the face of them from the dreams. And I know that because
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted
I'm gonna just Google Samuel Pepperman.
to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then.
Oh, it's a crows thing. It's from one of their emails. I knew I'd heard the name before. It's a label printer named Samuel. It printed, "My name is Samuel Pepperman. You have used me for entertainment. Now it is time for me to use you for that same purpose." Oh dear.
Good for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have
Portal.
to give something up.
Upstairs. Downstairs. Then back up some stairs again.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why
Optimus
I'm
Red
very
Lantern.
proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Goodbye, bucket.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket
Oh, you
destroyer
can't-
will do if it
can't
can't
give it the
destroy
bucket.
your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality
we'll just see
trait
it again,
deserve
then.
to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters?
We don't need to see it again. Alright, so, that's it for now. Next time, we will go through the right door. We'll do all the cargo lift shenanigans. We'll pick up the last 2 figurines. And we'll do all of those endings with the bucket down the right door. There's jumping off the cargo lift. But you know, like, letting the lift leave and then jumping off. There's jumping off the cargo lift. There's the work ending, the choice ending, the space ending, or the Zending. Art ending I can't do because I haven't got 4 hours to kill. And the game's ending. And then we'll have collected all the figurines. We'll go back into... Oh, we've got to go to the settings World Champion as well. But that will have to wait until next time. So I'll see you then. Bye.